So there's a situation that I keep coming across with people. I've been coming across it for many years now, but over the last couple of days, I've seen it literally once a day for 2 days, and it just reminded me of how common that this mistake is. And I want you to be able to avoid this mistake. And so let's talk about it. What is the mistake? The mistake is assuming that because you're doing generally healthy activities, that means that you are rewiring your nervous system to get out of anxiety and panic attacks, or maybe you're at a point of nervous system overwhelm. There's depersonalization, realization, emotional numbness, maybe time feels distorted, memory issues, all kinds of trauma symptoms. I've came across two people in the last 2 days, great people doing healthy activities. One was doing cold plunges and sauna and meditation and running every day and eating healthy, but yet still stuck in a cycle of anxiety, panic, and depersonalization realization. I just got a message from somebody saying, hey, I'm eating healthy and I'm exercising. Why am I still in symptoms? The example that I want to give is, imagine if you had marriage issues and the marriage issues were actually caused by a lack of trust. But instead of focusing on that root of building trust and healing the wounds that led to the mistrust, let's say that you're just throwing a bunch of generally good things related to marriage. You read Gary Chapman's The 5 Love Languages, and you're like, oh, okay, I see your acts of service, or I see that your quality time. So I'm going to start focusing on that. And then you start spending more quality time. And maybe you start working on communication and all this other stuff that may be good, generally speaking, for marriage, but you're missing the one thing that if you don't deal with that, as good as all these other things are related to helping heal your marriage or just helping your marriage in general, it's not going to matter because that root of mistrust is so deep, right? And in the case of anxiety and panic attacks, and, again, maybe you're in a trauma state, there's depersonalization, realization, time feels off, memory issues, maybe even emotional numbness, other trauma symptoms. The missing piece is the body, particularly getting in tune with the body. This is interoception, the experience of the embodied self, starting to experience your body again, but then working on befriending the body and releasing the tension, adrenaline, emotion from the body, making lifestyle adjustments that are particular to getting your body more calm and regulated. And what we do is we think, well, I'm doing all these healthy activities that everybody online did and they're feeling better, so why isn't it working for me? Well, because that's them. And you can't assume that what worked for other people is going to work for you whenever you have a very particular issue. Maybe if you didn't have such a dysregulated nervous system, maybe some of these things would take more effect. But because you're missing the key ingredient, which is directly changing what's happening in the body, these things that you're doing, while good generally speaking, are not enough to replace directly dealing with what's happening in the body. Not only that, but even more important than releasing the buildup in the body, which is called self-regulation, is co-regulation. Humans heal humans. This is something that I still don't think that people can even comprehend it until after they experience it. But humans heal humans. I can show you studies that show that up to 45% of healing trauma is co-regulation. And this is all mammals. This isn't even specific to humans. Humans heal humans. People heal people. People can also hurt people, of course, but we also can heal each other. There's something called co-regulation, and it's where you make somebody feel safe and calm, and you build hope in them. You build the secure attachment relationship, and specific to recovery, you're really there to hold their hand through the ups and downs of recovery. And that's almost half of it. And people don't think about that. And also, there's something called cognitive restructuring, getting proper education about symptoms. Believe it or not, that's a big part of recovery too. Because the more correct information that you get, the more that it's going to help detach fear from the symptoms as well as shame from the symptoms. You may have taken these symptoms on as a part of who you are. And it's led to just crippling shame and frustration with yourself. You feel so weak, or maybe you feel stupid or just broken. And then, of course, fear, whenever you really don't know what's going on, your anxious mind fills in the blanks with the most catastrophic, terrible thing ever. You think you're going psychotic, or you think that you're losing your mind. You think that the symptoms are permanent. You got brain damage, all this stuff. Now, hey, go get tested, go get checked, get your uh, body checked out, go see a doctor, go to a licensed mental professional. I'm not saying you shouldn't do those things, but at the end of the day, you really need a 21st century understanding of what is going on in your nervous system. And this is one of the first things that I do with my clients, in addition to getting them in their body and teaching them how to self-regulate and giving them co-regulation, is I give them the neuroscience of what's going on so they can begin this process of really rewiring their mind to be congruent with the truth about what's happening. And this is a very specific protocol. And it's much more potent than just throwing random healthy habits at your nervous system and just hope that it works. That's what I did. I would get on Google and YouTube and Reddit and forums and Facebook groups and just desperately search for anybody that had any tips. And this person says, oh, this helped me. Okay, I'm going to try it. This person says this helped me. Oh, there's this list of 10 things that you're supposed to be able to do to make you feel better. One of them I remember one time was literally breathing through a brown paper bag. And I'm not kidding. I actually felt better when I did it. I'm not even joking. I remember, like, I put the whole bag over my face, and I went, and I breathed out slowly, but it was actually the slow diaphragmatic breath that breathing through the bag forced me to do that actually indirectly calmed my body, which made me feel a little bit better. But because I didn't know the neuroscience of how trauma and anxiety affect the body, I wasn't able to be intentional. Also, hot baths was something that I did all the time. That was one of the only things that calmed me down. But because I didn't know that it was the body relaxation that was helping calm my nervous system, right? When you increase relaxation in the body, you decrease stress. I couldn't be intentional with it. And so I felt very out of control. And once I started to understand the neuroscience of what was going on, the reason why that was important is, again, number one, it made me realize I wasn't going crazy. But then number two, I was now able to not be so afraid of the symptoms and really focus on the root. Okay. So anyway, with that being said, I told he actually just signed up as a client, and he's gonna just knock this out of the park. I'm so excited. But I told him, I was like, cold plunges for a lot of people may be really good. I took the Wim Hof course, and I think Wim Hof breathing coupled with cold water exposure has a lot of benefits to it. I told him I have a sauna. I sauna usually 3 days a week, 4 days a week. I exercise every single day. I believe in eating healthy. Food is mood. Food's really important. And, all about some meditation. Like, listen, I'm like, nothing that you're doing is bad. In fact, those things are good, but none of those things are powerful enough to override the necessity for self-regulation, co-regulation, cognitive restructuring, and some very specific protocols that are specific for what you're going through with your nervous system. So anyway, with that being said, if you're caught up in this cycle and you're just throwing all these things at it, just hoping that it's going to get rid of it, and it's really just mitigating but never eliminating, that's why, right? So those are the things that you need. Now, if you decide that you want to work with me to help you with those things, that's fine. I'd be happy to take a look at your situation and see if I could help you. But at the end of the day, I just want you to get help, right? Even if it's not with me, I'm here to just point the direction of where you need to go. And regardless of who you work with, those are the things that you need to be focusing on, okay? Because if you don't focus on those things and you're just throwing a bunch of healthy stuff at your symptoms and your nervous system, the best you're going to get is mitigation and never elimination. I call it the hamster wheel method. You're just doing stuff that's never, and what's even worse is a lot of people aren't even doing a lot of healthy activities like I'm mentioning. They're doing things like distraction or like okay, acceptance. Like I'm not totally against acceptance, but that's just like one slice of the pie, right? Focusing on eliminating resistance, but they're just doing like positive self-talk or just like mentally trying to wrestle with the symptoms. A lot of people aren't even doing some of these bigger healthy habits, but regardless, you have a specific challenge, just like the marriage example, right? If you have a very specific issue in your marriage, you need to focus on that and not just throw a bunch of random good stuff for married couples at it and hope that it works, okay? We have a deep root here that requires a very specific solution. So anyway, that's it. If this encouraged you and helped you, smash that like button, subscribe. Would love to have you join this family, and also comment something below if you have any questions or you want to share anything. And then also there's a link below to watch my 5 shifts to heal from trauma, anxiety, panic, and depersonalization realization masterclass. It's free, and I spent over 6 months putting it together, and it shows you the 5 shifts that you need to make. It summarizes what we went over, but it goes a little bit into that neuroscience that we talked about, and it'll really, really encourage you and help you. There's also a link to apply to work with me and my team. We do have to take a look at your situation. We turn people away all the time. I can't make any guarantees, but if I'm 100% confident that I can help you, or somebody in my team is, and they speak with you, then we may extend an invitation. But, just to be clear, we can't work with everybody. We only let you into our programs if we are just very sure that we can help you. Integrity is so important with what I do. I don't want you to work with me unless I've looked at your situation or my team has, and we've got the green light. Okay, this is exactly what we help with. There's no nuances to it that would make us uncomfortable. But if that's the case, we would love to have you join my RISE program. All right, that's it. Hope you have a good day, and we'll talk to you real soon.